All right. Well, Miss Vera Thomas is here. Again, she's the mother of Reggie. Miss Thomas, are you ready, or do you need a minute? Oh, okay. So she's going to come up and share with us her knowledge on and experience on police torture confessions.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Still raining quite a bit out there. I'm very happy to be here this evening and have been invited for this occasion because it's very, very important and becoming more and more of a problem that we see each and every day. It starts out, of course, with that first arrest. Then the interrogation and on from there, the other things that transpire that have led many people to be incarcerated in prison. And as we know, that's not the end, because now we have a situation with abuse by the guards in the prison. So it's an ongoing situation. Once that mindset and punishment began from the time of arrest all the way to being confined in prison, people keep trying to execute the law, keep sentencing the people within the system, keep trying to sentence over and over again, playing judge and jury, even right up there in the prisons. I had a fortunate experience with Reggie. Reggie was 19 years old, and we was thinking, okay, by now, he's gonna be okay. He's made it through all these teen years. You know, he was a well-liked person. Used to go to church with my husband and I, and just thinking, okay, he was planning on starting up a small business, that we had kind of got past that point. But that was not the case, because unexpectedly on April the 4th is when the incident happened with the Chain of Rock case, which many of you have probably heard about the 3 blacks being charged. 4 people in all, 1 15-year-old white male and 3 black males were charged in the Chain of Rock case. But before that happened, we had the situation where that Friday, it was on the news that some young ladies had fallen off the bridge and that suspect had been arrested or booked. So we thought, well, they solved the case already. But that was not the case, because Sunday evening, police was knocking on my door. And I will not forget that knock on the door, because Reggie has not been home since that happened. What they told me, they did not tell me, excuse me, it was a Chain of Rock case at all. They told me that his name had come up, and they just wanted to talk to him, everything paying out, he'd be back home. Well, that was 1991. This is 2009, and he's not back home yet. In fact, they almost got executed June the 7th, 2009 of this year. I'll go back to when the police come to my house and asked to talk to him. I had to keep asking him, well, where are you trying to take him to? Don't we need a lawyer? You're talking about, only thing he was said was his name come up in a homicide. I'm saying, well, don't that mean we need an attorney? And the detective at the time said, no, we just going to talk to him. But that was not the case. This was about 3:30 in the evening when they came to my house, because I had just come home from a church. They had Reggie there from 3:30 to about 10 o'clock that night, or 10:30. The only reason I was able to find out what they was even taking him to, because I insisted on the detective giving me a card, some kind of identification. But of course, now I'm panicking, because I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's going on, you know. And finally, I got a call I called about 10:30 down the homicide and asked them what was going on. And they said, well, someone would call me back. So about 11 o'clock, I get this call from this detective, Chris Pappas, saying I have bad news. Reggie's going to be charged with murder, this, that, and the other. And it's like, oh my God. So it was during this time that the police brutality evidently was taking place. And I do want you to know, as many of you probably know, you can't believe police reports because they changed the time. They took Reggie from my house like 3:30 in the afternoon, but they changed the time to like about 6 o'clock before they interrogated him, which was totally untrue. Even today, the police records contradict the actual forced confession tape that they had obtained. So I go back to Sunday evening when they had picked him up, and I was trying to get there, trying to find out where they were taking him, and I wasn't able to find anything until that Monday. So by Monday, I had someone to go. I tried to go and visit him, and they wouldn't let me in because my name was different. I had remarried. So my daughter was able to get in, and she found out that when she saw him, that he had bruises on his face, and his face was swollen. Well, this was like that Monday. By Wednesday, when they had the arraignment in court, his face was still swollen, and he had not had any medical attention up to that point. It was only at that point that he was ordered to be taken to the hospital, and they found out that he had had injuries from an impact. And he told me what had happened. A policeman had beaten him. They had beaten him to the point that he said he had like passing out several times. And when one of the detectives, in the process of beating him, his fist slipped off Reggie's shoulder, hit him upside the head. So that wasn't part of the plan, but that's how we knew, and we had the evidence that he had been beaten. That was the beginning of this police brutality issue. Of course, we go on from there in the trial transcripts. Reggie says no when he's asked about his Miranda rights. They changed the word from no, saying, I don't want to use my rights, to I don't want to lose my rights, you know? And it's in transcript. No means no. But of course, that was the beginning of him, putting him on the trail for the execution, which we almost experienced, for the death sentence, for the chamber and all, from that one police incident of taking him from my house, putting him in a holdover, beating him, forcing him into a confession, and then he wound up with a death sentence. With lack of evidence, there is no physical evidence, the circumstantial evidence that they have been using. So you can go all the way from being picked up by the police to execution if you're not careful. Police brutality is very real. So I wanted to share that with you, and that's been our experience with it. I'm hoping that any of you have experienced it. Make sure you get a lawyer real quick. Like I said, you can't believe the police report. And that's what I have to say at this point.
Thank you very much, Mama Vera Thomas. And next we have Reddick. I know every time I hear her speak about that, and I've heard her speak about it many times, and I know you, Ms. Vera, every time it's something that when you hear it, you think, surely this is not real, but when we see you and you're saying, this is my son, this happened, it is very disheartening every time to hear, and just, you know, makes me want to resolve even more to continue Reggie's fight.